I mean, this is another very interesting fight on the right. The fact that they are pushing for this 20-year understanding really indicates that they see the writing on the wall. They've already lost the Democratic base. It's gone. It's over. I think it will be a central litmus test in the 2028 primary. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But on the right, they also see these divisions and the writing on the wall with the direction of the Republicans as well. So they're trying to lock in their position as much as they can because they don't have confidence that they'll be able to achieve anything approaching the same level of support in the future.
Hey everybody, this is Troy over at Uncomfortable Truths. Thanks for checking me out. So today we have to talk about what's going on with Israel because they are begging the United States for more and more welfare. And now they think that we should fund their defense for another 20 years. Now, I would like for you to tell me what other nation would have the guts to come to America and say, hey, you need to give us welfare, and on top of that, you need to pay for our security, and we are going to give you nothing. Because the talking point is that Israel is some sort of grand ally. Well, Israel is a country of 9 million people, and we fund almost all of their defense. So to say that Israel is some sort of a grand ally is completely ridiculous considering that we're not getting welfare from them, we're giving them money. This doesn't go both ways, and Trump has shown that he is an absolute puppet to Benjamin Netanyahu. Now, like Crystal Ball said, the Democrats have actually been pretty good, and by the Democrats, I don't mean the elected politicians. I'm talking about Democratic voters and the populace in the Democratic Party. They've been pretty good about actually noting that yeah, we shouldn't be funding Israel, and I don't support them. But populists and especially younger Republicans, they're catching on to this too. And they're saying, hey, I want to put America first, and I have no interest in putting the needs of a foreign country above our own. So unfortunately, our president is willing to put the needs of Israel before our own. But people aren't putting up with this anymore. And Crystal over at Breaking Points is going to talk a little bit more about this.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, the 20-year memorandum is fascinating for a variety of reasons. Now, first and foremost, the reason that they want to lock it in for 20 years is because they can see that if they don't right now, that a future administration may not do so. But second, let's actually read a lot of the agreement, because what they want is they want continued aid to Israel, but the way that they're trying to sell it is the way that the Ukrainians did. So you'll remember for the pro-Ukraine caucus, what they kept saying was, guys, we're not giving money to Ukraine. We're giving money to Ukraine so they can buy more weapons from us. So it's actually good for your economy. Now, obviously, basically money laundering, isn't it? It's like funneling money to a foreign government so that they can buy money from your weapons industry. It's like, well, we could just buy our own weapons if we wanted to, and then we could decide when and where it goes and for what purpose. Seems reasonable.
So Sagar is 100% correct here, because Israel does see what's going on, and they know that most Democratic voters don't agree with what Israel's doing and don't support Israel because what Israel's doing is obviously wrong. There's no getting around that at this point. But also, even the Republican base is split on whether or not we should continue supporting Israel, especially with younger Republicans. Younger Republicans do not have the same ideas about Israel that boomers have. Younger Republicans don't accept the idea that we need to put Israel's needs before our own. They can't afford to buy houses, and they're worried about getting jobs. So the idea that they need to take money from their bank account and send it to Israel is absolutely ridiculous, and people are tired of it. Now, keep in mind, guys, that just because the base of these parties doesn't support Israel doesn't mean that Israel is not going to continue to get support. Because when it comes to the political class, we have organizations like AIPAC that continue to fund both Republicans and Democrats. And because they're funding them, they have a tremendous amount of say over what those people are going to actually support when they get in power. That's the uncomfortable truth here, guys, is that just because the base supports these things doesn't mean that's actually what's going to happen. And that's true of Democrats and Republicans. However, we don't need to be all doom and gloom, because we are starting to see that people are waking up and they're fed up with it. There are now people that are coming out and saying, yeah, if you support this, I'm not going to vote for you. I don't care how much money you have, and I don't care what your excuses are. We're not funding this anymore because it's morally wrong. Because it is, guys. What possible interest do you have as an American in making sure that Israel can bomb everybody they want to in the Middle East? It's ridiculous and people aren't putting up with it anymore. So, as somebody that wants to put American priorities first, there is no reason for us whatsoever to support Israel because we don't get anything from them. They need us, we don't need them. So if you guys want to go ahead and start your little wars in the Middle East, well, go ahead, but you're going to do it without America's backing. Because by putting ourselves first, we're going to realize very quickly that we don't have anything to gain by supporting these war hawks over in Israel. And that's something that everybody's kind of starting to wake up to. We'll listen to Sagar because he's got a little bit more to say on the matter.
Some of the changes that they say not only would change it from 20 years and make it to the 100th anniversary of their independence, but what they want to do is use some of the money for joint U.S.-Israeli research and development rather than direct military aid. And that would be defense tech, defense AI, Golden Dome missile, as the Israelis said. The fundamental thing, though, that we come back to is they still need the aid. Is for years there's been this debate. Does Israel even need aid, at this point? I mean, it's a country with free healthcare. They have a fine economy, according to them. Mr. High-Tech Silicon Valley nation, all of that. It's like, okay, fine. So if you can afford all of that and you can afford to literally pay a huge portion of your population to not work and to worship and to read the Torah, then why am I giving you billions and billions of dollars in order to subsidize that? It seems kind of sick, right?
And that's the problem here, is that Israel seems to not understand that they are just a client state of the United States. They have no real country other than what we allow them to have, because we're the ones who completely fund them. We protect them and we do their bidding. Well, it's time for that to come to a stop, because what America is doing is we are not putting the needs of our people first. We're putting the needs of a foreign country first and letting this tiny, insignificant country tell us what to do. Now, here's the reality, guys. They're not a good ally, and it's time for us to cut ties with them because what they're doing is wrong, and we shouldn't support it. So, everybody, that's what I have today. Do me a favor and hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to share the uncomfortable truth. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.